I thought blood meant loyalty. I thought my family would protect me, not destroy me. But the person who shattered my world wasn't a stranger. It was her. Welcome to the Last Lesson channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more emotional, life-changing stories every week. Now, let me tell you mine. Some betrayals don't announce themselves with dramatic music or warning signs written in the sky. Some slip into your life quietly, wearing a familiar face, speaking with a voice you've trusted since childhood. Some come dressed as love itself. This is the story of how my cousin, my best friend, my sister in everything but name, tried to destroy the one thing that made me truly happy, and how karma made sure she paid for it in ways I never could have imagined. But before I tell you about the darkness, let me take you back to when everything still felt safe. Her name was Maya, my cousin, 23 years old, 2 years older than me, and for as long as I could remember, she was the person I looked up to most in this world. We grew up together. Same neighborhood, houses 3 blocks apart, childhood woven together like threads in the same fabric. She taught me how to ride a bike when I was 7. I was there when she got her first heartbreak at 15, holding her while she cried into my shoulder. We had matching bracelets we bought at a street fair when we were 12. Hers silver, mine gold, and we promised we'd wear them forever. Family gatherings meant the two of us disappearing into a corner, whispering secrets, laughing until our stomachs hurt. Everyone called us inseparable, and we were. At least I thought we were. When I met Daniel, I couldn't wait to tell her. It was spring, almost 2 years before everything fell apart. I was 19, working part-time at a bookstore near campus, and he came in looking for a birthday gift for his sister. Dark hair, kind eyes, the sort of smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. We talked for 20 minutes about books neither of us had read, and by the time he left, he'd asked for my number. Our first date was at a small Italian restaurant with terrible lighting and the best pasta I'd ever tasted. He told me about his architecture degree, his dream of designing sustainable buildings, how he wanted to create spaces that felt like home. I told him about my psychology major, my love for understanding people, how I believed everyone had a story worth listening to. He listened like he meant it. Like every word I said mattered. By our 3rd date, I knew I was falling. By our 6th month together, I couldn't imagine my life without him. Daniel was steady in a world that felt chaotic. He remembered the small things, how I liked my coffee, that I got anxious before exams, that I needed silence when I was overwhelmed. He'd show up in my apartment with soup when I was sick, send me pictures of sunsets when we were apart, leave little notes in my textbooks that said things like, "You're going to do amazing," and "I'm proud of you." For the first time in my life, I felt genuinely, peacefully happy. Naturally, I wanted Maya to meet him. I remember that day so clearly. It was summer, warm and golden, and we met at our favorite cafe, the one with the outdoor seating and the ivy climbing up the brick walls. I'd been talking about Daniel for weeks, showing Maya his photos, reading her his texts, probably annoying her with how much I gushed about him. But she smiled. She listened. She seemed excited for me. When Daniel arrived, I watched them meet with this hopeful flutter in my chest. The 2 most important people in my life, finally in the same room. He shook her hand, complimented her dress, made a joke that actually made her laugh. She asked him about his studies, his family, his plans for the future. Everything felt perfect. "He's wonderful," she told me later, after he'd left to meet his study group. We were walking back to our cars, the sun setting behind the buildings, painting everything in shades of amber and rose. "You picked a good one. I'm really happy for you." I hugged her right there on the sidewalk, overwhelmed with gratitude. "Thank you. That means everything to me." She hugged me back, tight and warm. That's what family's for, right? Right. The months that followed felt like a dream I didn't want to wake up from. Daniel integrated into my life seamlessly. He came to family dinners, charmed my parents, played video games with my younger brother. He and Maya became friendly too. Casual texts here and there, likes on social media posts, easy conversation when we all hung out together. I loved it. I loved having my worlds merge so smoothly. Looking back now, with the clarity that only heartbreak can bring, I can see the signs I missed. The tiny fractures I ignored because I was too happy to notice anything was wrong. Like how Maya started texting Daniel more frequently. At first, it seemed innocent, sending him funny memes, asking his opinion on random things, including him in group chats. I thought it was sweet. I thought it meant they were becoming friends. Your cousin's really cool, Daniel mentioned once, scrolling through his phone on my couch. She sent me this article about sustainable architecture. Said she thought of me. I smiled, curling into his side. See, I told you she's the best. Or the way she started asking questions. Subtle at first, wrapped in concern. Are you sure he's ready for something serious? He seems like the type who might want to keep his options open. Have you two talked about the future? I mean, really talked about it? You don't want to waste your time. I just want to make sure he appreciates you. You deserve someone who's all in, you know. I brushed it off. She was being protective, I thought. She cared about me. That's what big cousins did. They worried, they questioned, they made sure you were making good choices. I should have paid more attention to the way her smile tightened when Daniel kissed me goodbye. Should have noticed how she watched us when she thought I wasn't looking. Not with happiness, but with something else. Something darker. But I didn't, because I trusted her. And then there was her own relationship. Maya got married that fall. A beautiful ceremony, elegant reception, the kind of wedding you see in magazines. Her husband, Alex, seemed perfect for her, successful lawyer, handsome, attentive. They looked stunning together in every photo. She posted constantly. Pictures of flowers he sent to her office, screenshots of sweet texts, filtered selfies with captions about being blessed and grateful. Her life looked absolutely perfect. I was happy for her. Genuinely, deeply happy. At her wedding, during the reception, she pulled me aside. We stood near the edge of the dance floor, champagne glasses in hand, watching Alex spin his mother across the floor. I have everything I ever wanted, she said softly. Then she turned to look at me, and something in her expression made my breath catch. You do too, right? With Daniel? Yeah, I said, squeezing her hand. I really do. She smiled. But as I replay that moment now, over and over in my mind, I remember something I didn't understand then. Her smile never reached her eyes. And when I looked down at her hand, the one holding mine, I noticed something else. Our matching bracelets. The ones we'd worn since we were 12. The ones we'd promised we'd keep forever. Mine was still on my wrist, gold and slightly tarnished with time. Hers was gone. Winter came early that year, and with it, a coldness I didn't recognize at first. It started small. So small that I convinced myself I was imagining things. Daniel began taking longer to reply to my texts. Not by much, 30 minutes instead of 5, an hour instead of 20. Easy to explain away. He was busy with his thesis, stressed about final presentations, drowning in blueprints and deadlines. I understood. I gave him space. But then came the canceled plans. Hey, I'm so sorry, but I have to rain check on dinner tonight. Something came up with the project. Can we do movie night tomorrow instead? I'm exhausted and need to crash early. I know we said this weekend, but I think I need to focus on work. You understand, right? I did understand. Or at least I tried to. But understanding didn't stop the small, cold weight that started settling in my chest. The kind that whispers something's wrong even when you don't want to listen. When we were together, he seemed distant, physically present but emotionally somewhere else. His smiles came slower. His laugh sounded hollow. And sometimes when I'd catch him staring at his phone, his expression would darken in a way I'd never seen before. Is everything okay? I asked one evening. We were at his apartment, sitting on opposite ends of his couch. When had we started sitting so far apart, and the silence between us felt heavy? He looked up from his phone, something flickering across his face. Guilt? Anger? I couldn't tell. Yeah, fine. Just tired. Daniel. I shifted closer, reaching for his hand. Talk to me. Please. You've been different lately, and I said I'm fine. His tone was sharper than I'd ever heard it. He pulled his hand away. I sat back like I'd been slapped. He sighed, running his hands through his hair. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap. I'm just dealing with some stuff right now. Can we not do this tonight? What could I say? I nodded. I backed off. I drove home with tears burning behind my eyes, trying to convince myself that relationships had rough patches, that stress did strange things to people, that we'd get through this. I wanted to believe it so badly. The only person I could talk to was Maya. We met for coffee on a gray Tuesday afternoon, the kind of day where the sky looked like static and everything felt muted. I'd barely sat down before the words started spilling out. I don't know what's happening with Daniel. He's pulling away and I don't understand why. He won't talk to me, he's always tired or busy, and when we're together it's like he's not really there, you know? Like he's somewhere else in his head and I. Breathe, Maya said, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. Her expression was all concern, eyebrows drawn together, lips pressed in sympathy. Tell me everything. So I did. I told her about the canceled dates, the distance, the weird tension that had crept into our relationship like fog. I told her I was scared, that I loved him, that I didn't know what to do. She listened. She nodded in all the right places. And when I finished, she leaned back in her chair with this thoughtful look on her face. Can I be honest with you? She asked carefully. Of course. Always. I think. She paused, like she was choosing her words. I think maybe you need to consider that he might not be as invested in this relationship as you are. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? I just mean you're talking about forever with this guy, and he can't even commit to a dinner date. That says something, doesn't it? She tilted her head, her voice soft but pointed. I love you. You're my best friend, and I just don't want to see you get hurt by someone who isn't giving you what you deserve. But he does, I insisted, even as doubt crept in. He's just going through a stressful time. Is he, though? Or is that just what he's telling you? She took a sip of her coffee, watching me over the rim. I'm not trying to make you paranoid. I'm really not. But sometimes we make excuses for people because we love them, and we don't see what's right in front of us. I felt sick. You think he's what? Seeing someone else. I didn't say that, but the way she said it made it clear she was thinking it. I'm just saying, be careful. Protect your heart. That's all. I left that coffee shop feeling worse than when I'd arrived. Maya's words circled my mind like vultures, picking at every insecurity I'd ever had. What if she was right? What if I was being naive? What if Daniel was pulling away because he'd found someone else, someone better, someone who didn't cling or worry or need reassurance? I tried calling him that night. It went to voicemail. I texted, can we talk? I miss you. 3 hours later, sorry, phone died. Tomorrow? But tomorrow never came. Maya checked in on me constantly over the next few weeks. Daily texts asking how I was doing, invitations for coffee or lunch, offers to come over and keep me company. I was grateful for it. She felt like the only solid thing in a world that was crumbling. Any updates with Daniel? She'd ask, her voice gentle but probing. Not really. Still distant. I don't know what to do. Have you thought about maybe taking a step back? Giving him space to figure out what he wants. I've given him space. It's not helping. She'd sigh sympathetically. I just hate seeing you like this. You deserve so much better than someone who makes you feel this way. Her words were kind, supportive, exactly what a best friend should say. So why did they make me feel worse? It was Daniel's roommate, Marcus, who unknowingly planted the first seed of truth. I'd stopped by Daniel's apartment unannounced, something I never did. But desperation makes you do desperate things. He wasn't home, but Marcus was there, looking uncomfortable when he opened the door. Hey, I said, trying to sound casual. Is Daniel here? No. He went to the library. Oh, okay. I shifted my weight, suddenly feeling foolish for showing up. Has he seemed okay to you lately? Marcus's expression changed. Something between pity and discomfort crossed his face. Listen, I don't want to get in the middle of anything. Marcus, please. He sighed, running a hand over his head. He's been really stressed. But it's not just about school, you know? He's been, I don't know, questioning things. About the relationship. He's been talking to someone about it. Getting advice, I guess. My heart stopped. Someone? Who? I don't know her name. Some friend or family member of yours. He's been texting with her a lot. Says she's been helping him work through some stuff. Family member of mine. The ground shifted beneath my feet. Did you say what they've been talking about? My voice sounded distant, like it was coming from someone else. Marcus looked increasingly uncomfortable. Just relationship stuff. Things he's worried about. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have said anything. But between you and me, I think whoever she is, she's putting ideas in his head. He wasn't questioning you before they started talking. I thanked him mechanically and walked back to my car on autopilot. Family member of mine. Texting frequently. Putting ideas in his head. No, she wouldn't. She couldn't. But even as I thought it, something cold and certain settled in my bones. A knowing I didn't want to acknowledge. I sat in my car in Daniel's parking lot, hands shaking, and pulled out my phone. There was a text from Maya. Hey babe, just checking in. How are you holding up? Remember, you deserve someone who chooses you every single day. I stared at that message for a long time. And for the first time, I let myself ask the question I'd been avoiding. What if the person destroying my relationship wasn't a stranger at all? What if she'd been sitting across from me at coffee shops, holding my hand, wearing the face of family? Some truths don't reveal themselves all at once. They come in fragments, sharp and cutting, each piece adding to a picture you wish you'd never seen. The full picture came on a Thursday night in February when my world finally, completely shattered. Daniel asked to meet me at the park where we'd had our first real date. Not the Italian restaurant, the park we'd walk through afterward, where cherry blossom trees lined the pathways and we'd talked until the streetlights came on. I knew what was coming. You always know, don't you? Even when you're lying to yourself, some part of you recognizes the shape of an ending. He was already there when I arrived, sitting on our bench, shoulders hunched against the cold. When he looked up and saw me, the pain in his eyes almost made me turn around and leave. Almost. Thanks for meeting me, he said quietly as I sat down, keeping distance between us. You said we needed to talk. He nodded, staring at his hands. For a long moment, he didn't speak. Just breathed. Just existed in that space between before and after. I can't do this anymore, he finally said. Us. I can't. I can't be in this relationship. Even expecting it, the words hit like a physical blow. Why? Because I can't trust you. His voice cracked. And without trust, what's the point? I felt something break inside my chest. Trust me? Daniel, what are you talking about? I've never. Don't. He held up a hand, and I saw tears in his eyes. Please don't lie to me. Not now. I'm not lying. I don't even know what you think I did. The guy from your psychology study group. The one you've been spending late nights with at the library. My mind went blank. Jason? Daniel, he's just. Just what? Just a friend? That's what everyone says, isn't it? His laugh was bitter. You told him things about us. About our relationship. Personal things. You complained about me to him. I never. Who told you that? But I already knew. God help me, I already knew. It doesn't matter who told me. What matters is that I can't be with someone who goes behind my back, who disrespects our relationship by. It was Maya. My voice came out flat. Dead. She told you that, didn't she? Something flickered across his face. Surprise, maybe. Or confirmation. She's your cousin. She cares about you. Why would she lie? Why would I? The question hung in the cold air between us. Daniel, Jason is gay. Happily engaged. I've mentioned him maybe twice. Always in the context of class. I have never complained about you to anyone except. I stopped. The realization crashed over me like ice water. Except Maya. He was shaking his head before I finished. She showed me screenshots. Messages where you were talking about how you weren't sure about us, how you thought I was pulling away first, how you were thinking about. What screenshots? Daniel, show me. Right now. I deleted them. I didn't want. How convenient. My voice was rising now, months of confusion and hurt, and gaslighting turning to rage. Let me guess. She sent them to you privately? Told you not to confront me because I'd just deny it? Made you promise to keep it between you two because she was trying to protect me? His silence was answer enough. Daniel, I was crying now, hot tears on cold cheeks. She's been lying to you. About everything. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to make her hate me. But everything she told you is a lie. Why would she do that? She's your family. She loves you. Does she? The question tasted like poison. Because someone who loves you doesn't destroy the best thing in your life. But I could see it in his eyes. She'd done her work too well. The seeds of doubt had taken root, grown into certainty, and now there was no pulling them out. I'm sorry, he whispered. I can't. He stood up, walked away, left me sitting on that bench in the dark, surrounded by the ghosts of who we used to be. I didn't go after him. Instead, I sat there as the temperature dropped and the park emptied, feeling like someone had reached into my chest and carved out everything vital. The pain wasn't sharp, it was vast and hollow and so deep I couldn't find the bottom of it. Maya had done this. My cousin. My best friend. The person I trusted more than anyone. She had looked me in the eyes, held my hand across coffee shop tables, listened to me cry about losing Daniel, all while knowing she was the reason why. I didn't confront her immediately, not because I was scared, but because I needed to understand. I needed to know if I was crazy, if I was connecting dots that didn't exist, if grief was making me paranoid. So I started digging. I called Daniel's roommate Marcus again, asked him exactly when Daniel had started having doubts. Marcus thought about it and said around October, 3 months after Maya had met him. I scrolled through my text history with Maya, found the messages where she'd asked me about my relationship, seemingly innocent questions that I now realized were reconnaissance. Does Daniel ever mention other girls from his classes? Do you guys talk about the future, or does he avoid it? Has he introduced you to all his friends yet? I'd answered everything, given her ammunition without realizing I was loading the gun she'd use against me. I talked to Rachel, who confirmed that Maya had reached out to Daniel first under the guise of getting to know him better as family, that their texting had started casual but became more frequent, that Daniel had started expressing doubts about me that sounded nothing like him, and everything like Maya's insecurities. The evidence piled up, piece by damning piece. But the confirmation, the absolute, undeniable proof, came from the last person I expected. Alex, Maya's husband. He called me on a Sunday morning, his voice tight and strained. We need to talk about Maya. I'm listening. Can we meet? I have something to show you. We met at a cafe on the edge of town, somewhere neither of us would run into anyone we knew. Alex looked like he hadn't slept in days, dark circles under his eyes, jaw tight with tension, hands shaking slightly as he ordered coffee. I found something, he said once we sat down. On her laptop. She forgot to log out of her messages. He pulled out his phone and opened a folder of screenshots. My stomach turned as I started reading. Messages between Maya and Daniel, dozens of them, spanning months. Her initial contact, hey, I know we just met, but I want to say I think it's great how happy you make my cousin. Friendly, warm, sisterly. Then slowly, carefully, the poison began. I'm probably overstepping, but I noticed something at dinner and I'm worried. Has she mentioned a guy named Jason to you? I feel terrible bringing this up, but I saw some texts on her phone when we were together, and I think you should know. She's been different lately, more secretive. I'm probably being paranoid, but as someone who loves her, I wanted to give you a heads up. And then my hand started shaking, the fabricated screenshots. Fake text conversations she created, making it look like I was complaining about Daniel, expressing doubts, mentioning Jason in ways that seemed intimate and secretive. They looked real, unnervingly real. She'd matched my texting style, used phrases I actually used, even included timestamps that made sense. If I had known they were fake, even I might have believed them. There's more, Alex said quietly, scrolling further. Look at the dates. I looked. My blood ran cold. She'd been doing the same thing to him, creating fake evidence of affairs, manipulating situations, manufacturing jealousy. Screenshots of his female coworkers' social media with suspicious captions. Evidence of late-night texts that never actually happened. A systematic campaign to make him distrust everyone around him. How long? I whispered. Since we got engaged. Maybe before. I found drafts going back almost 2 years. She'd practice the fake messages, adjust them, perfect them before sending. His voice broke. She destroyed my relationship with my sister, made me think my best friend was hitting on her, isolated me from everyone who cared about me, and I let her because I thought she was just insecure, that she needed reassurance. Why are you showing me this? Because I saw what she did to you and Daniel. Because I'm done being complicit. And because he met my eyes and I saw genuine remorse there. Because you deserve to know it wasn't your fault. None of it was your fault. I could have exposed her. Could have sent those screenshots to everyone. Could have made sure the entire family knew exactly what she'd done. Could have destroyed her reputation the way she destroyed my relationship. But I didn't. Instead, I blocked her number, removed her from all social media, told my parents I needed space from her without explaining why. Just that we'd had a falling out and I wasn't ready to talk about it. I went to therapy, started processing not just the loss of Daniel, but the betrayal of someone I'd loved like a sister. Started understanding that her actions said everything about her and nothing about my worth. I focused on healing, on rebuilding, on becoming whole again. And I waited, because I'd learned something about karma, real karma, not the fictional instant justice of movies. Real karma is patient. Real karma doesn't need your help. Real karma is simply the natural consequence of your actions catching up with you. 6 months passed. I heard through family that Maya's marriage was having problems, that she and Alex were working through some things, the euphemisms people use when they don't want to say it's falling apart. Then 8 months. Alex filed for divorce. The family was shocked. They'd seemed so perfect, so happy. Maya played the victim beautifully, posting vague sad quotes about betrayal and resilience, about standing strong through storms, about toxic people. The irony was almost funny. Almost. Then came the day that everything came full circle. A Saturday afternoon in early fall. I was home, reading on my couch, finally feeling like myself again. Finally feeling like the girl Maya had tried to destroy was being replaced by someone stronger. There was a knock on my door. I looked through the peephole and my breath caught. Maya stood there, looking nothing like the polished, perfect version of herself she'd always projected. Her hair was unwashed, pulled back in a messy ponytail. No makeup. Eyes red and swollen. She looked small, broken, human. I almost didn't open the door. Almost pretended I wasn't home. But I did, because I needed to hear what she'd say. Needed to look her in the eyes and see if she even understood what she'd done. "Hi," she said, her voice barely a whisper. I didn't respond. Just stood there, hand on the doorframe, creating a barrier she couldn't cross. "Can we talk? Please? I need someone. Everything's falling apart and you're the only person who..." "Who what?" My voice was calm, eerily calm. "Who you didn't completely betray. Who you didn't systematically destroy. Who you didn't lie to while pretending to comfort them." She flinched like I'd slapped her. "You know. I know. I'm sorry." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I was sick. I was wrong. I didn't know what I was doing." "Yes, you did." I kept my voice steady. "You knew exactly what you were doing. You planned it. You crafted fake screenshots. You manipulated Daniel for months. You watched me fall apart and pretended to be there for me while you were the one holding the knife. Please." She was sobbing now, mascara running down her face. "Please, I need you. Alex left me. Everyone's turning on me. The family thinks I'm the problem. I have no one left and you're my best friend. You're my family. You have to..." "I don't have to do anything." The words came out harder than I intended, but I didn't soften them. "You want to know what's funny, Maya? If you come to me a year ago and said you were struggling with jealousy, that seeing me happy made you feel inadequate, that you needed help, I would have helped you. That's who I was. I know. But you didn't want help. You wanted me to hurt. You couldn't stand that I had something good. So you decided to take it away." I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt nothing but exhausted sadness. "And now your own poison has turned on you. Alex found the screenshots, didn't he? Found the evidence of what you were doing to him. Her silence confirmed it. So now you're experiencing exactly what you put me through. Your relationship destroyed by lies. Your trust shattered. Your world falling apart. And you came here thinking what? That I'd comfort you? That I'd tell you it's okay. I came here because I have nowhere else to go. Her voice was small, broken. Because despite everything, you're still my family. We grew up together. We were best friends. That has to count for something. It did count for something. I felt tears prick my own eyes now, but I didn't let them fall. It counted for everything. Until you decided your jealousy was more important than our bond. Until you chose to destroy me rather than deal with your own insecurity. So that's it? You're just going to turn your back on me? When I need you most? The audacity of it almost made me laugh. Almost. You turned your back on me first, Maya. You did it slowly, methodically, with calculated cruelty. And now you're upset that I won't let you do it again. I've changed. I'm in therapy. I'm working on myself. Good. I'm glad. Genuinely. And I meant it. But that doesn't mean I have to be part of your healing. That doesn't mean I owe you forgiveness or comfort or anything at all. You don't get to destroy someone and then demand they help you pick up your own pieces. She reached for me and I stepped back, creating more distance. Please don't do this, she whispered. I'm sorry. I'll spend the rest of my life being sorry. Just please don't abandon me. I looked at her one last time. Saw the girl who used to be my best friend, buried under layers of toxicity and self-destruction. Felt a moment of genuine sorrow for who she could have been if she dealt with her demons instead of projecting them onto everyone around her. I hope you get better, Maya, I said quietly. I hope therapy helps. I hope you figure out how to be happy for other people instead of tearing them down. But I can't be in your life while you do that. I won't. Wait. I closed the door, locked it, and walked away while she cried on the other side. People ask me sometimes if I feel guilty, if I regret not helping her, if karma was too harsh. The answer is no, because here's what I learned through all of this. Karma isn't punishment. It's not some cosmic force actively seeking revenge on your behalf. Karma is simply the natural consequence of your actions. It's truth catching up with lies. It's reality asserting itself after months or years of manipulation. Maya didn't need me to destroy her life. She did that herself, one lie at a time, one manipulation after another. Every screenshot she faked, every seed of doubt she planted, every relationship she poisoned, those were her choices. And eventually, the weight of those choices collapsed on her. I was just collateral damage in her war against her own inadequacy. The revenge I wanted in those first dark months would have been loud, dramatic. Public exposure, confrontations, making her feel every ounce of pain she'd caused me. But the peace I found was quieter and infinitely more powerful. It was in walking away, in refusing to engage, in letting her sit with the consequences of her actions while I focused on healing. It was in understanding that some people can't celebrate your happiness because they're drowning in their own misery. And that's not my responsibility to fix. It was in learning that family isn't defined by blood, but by behavior. That the people who truly love you don't destroy you to make themselves feel better. Most importantly, it was in realizing that the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's living well. It's healing. It's refusing to let someone else's toxicity define your story. I'm 21 years old now. I lost my first real love to lies I didn't tell. I lost the cousin I thought was my sister to jealousy I didn't cause. But I didn't lose myself. Daniel and I never got back together. Too much had been broken. Too much trust shattered. But months after everything came out, he did reach out with an apology. Said he should have trusted me, should have questioned the evidence, should have known me better than to believe I'd do what Maya claimed. I forgave him. Not for us, but for me. Because carrying that anger was exhausting, and he'd been a victim in this too, just a different kind. Maya is still out there somewhere, presumably working through her issues in therapy. I hope she is. I hope she gets better, not for me, but for whoever comes into her life next. I hope she learns that happiness isn't a competition, that someone else's joy doesn't diminish your own, that love isn't about control and manipulation. But that's not my problem anymore. I'm rebuilding, dating again, cautiously, building friendships with clear boundaries, learning to trust people while also trusting my instincts, understanding that it's okay to walk away from people who hurt you, even if they're family. The girl Maya tried to destroy is gone. But the woman who emerged from those ashes is stronger, wiser, and absolutely unwilling to accept cruelty disguised as love. That's my revenge. That's my redemption. Being whole without her. Being happy in spite of her. Being free. Maya took my relationship. Karma took everything she loved. But what I gained, what she could never steal, was the knowledge that I don't need revenge when the truth does the work for me. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply close the door and walk away. Thank you for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, if you've been betrayed by someone you trusted, manipulated by someone you loved, or hurt by family who should have protected you, I want you to know you're not alone. Healing is possible. Peace is possible. And you deserve people in your life who celebrate your happiness instead of sabotaging it. If you want to hear more stories like this, real, raw, and unfiltered, please subscribe to The Last Lesson. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And drop a comment below telling me, have you ever experienced betrayal from someone close to you? How did you handle it? I read every single comment, and your stories matter. Remember, you don't owe anyone who hurt you a place in your healing. Take care of yourselves. You're worth it. Until next time.